What's going on, everybody? Doc from Average Gamer Guys back yet again. We got a new game to test out here on the channel called Furies. This episode, really, we're going to jump into it. I'm just going to give you a quick overview, kind of talk through it, give my impressions. This is a game that actually was on the Xbox recommended list. I think it's actually up on the store right now as like the top game. And I subscribed to an email, and every once in a while Xbox will just send out just like a weekly email just kind of highlighting what's either new out there or what's popular in the gaming community. So I try to keep up with that kind of stuff, usually take a look. I don't usually buy a lot of these games or a lot of the games that are recommended, but this was one that really kind of caught my attention. It's a pretty simple game, not a whole lot to it, but it's one of those games that would be a lot of fun to pick up, especially if you're running co-op. You got a couple buddies or friends that you play with often, and just really some good co-op fun to get into. So it's kind of like a Diablo, kind of like a side-scroller type, essentially just a fighting game. So I'm running here. You can play this game. It's pretty cool. They get you set up so that you can either run it with up to 4 people, or you can run it solo. It's got a little story. You run through different missions. It's got some RPG elements that we'll get into here in a little bit, but very similar to what you would normally expect. You get the ability to use your gold to upgrade your character, strengthen them up, level them up over the course of time. This is really cool because in this game, essentially you have 4 different types or 4 different characters that you can play as. If you run it solo, you're going to be able to use 2 characters at once. You're going to see me swap back and forth pretty frequently between the 2 characters that I've chosen. Each of the characters different, really honestly have some very good variants in play styles. Their abilities are all different, their attacks are all different. It's just a really cool setup. It's not cookie cutter for your for the characters that you get to choose. It's like I said, very very varied. And you get the ability to use different abilities and play with different characters, so it's pretty cool. But the base of the game essentially is run around and just kill stuff. And that's usually a pretty good recipe for success when you go about it and you're just looking for a break. So that's kind of why I wanted to pick this up. Wanted to give something that I could jump into, really not be too involved into this silly story that they got going on, but just have a good time, run around, really just slaying some monsters and killing some stuff. And like I said, the mechanics, the buttons, everything for this one actually feels very polished. So they did a very good job of, making sure that the controls made sense, making sure that all the different abilities were varied enough to give some replayability, to give you, the need or the want to be able to, continue to play and progress with the different characters. And then the co-op aspect of this is something I haven't had a chance to test out yet, but I can imagine would be super fun, especially if you got you and a couple friends all together. In these big battles, some of the boss fights, you'll see one here at the end, can get pretty hectic. So something that like I said, definitely recommend if you're looking for something a little bit different. Get rid of, or get you out of the groove of maybe Rocket League or Call of Duty or whatever you happen to be playing at this time, and you just need something to kind of burn a little bit of time and, like I said, take a little bit of break. Definitely take a look at this game, Furies. Like I said, pretty cool. We'll finally get into some action here. It does have, like I said, kind of some of the, a little bit of the quests and the secrets hidden around. You saw me find that little secret stone earlier from the path. Nothing too crazy there, but just kind of cool to have those different elements inside of this. And then, like I said, you get the RPG element, which we'll talk through here at the end. But you'll see essentially over the course of time, I'm going to be picking up gold. You're going to get new abilities. You're going to have the ability to kind of modify your character actually pretty well. That's one thing that these games don't usually do very well. Typically, they most of the time just give you 1 or 2 kind of sets of moves. You get like a regular move and a special move, and then you can kind of strengthen that up, but you don't usually get the ability to kind of modify it or change it with those RPG elements. In this game, you actually do get that ability, which is really, really neat. And something, like I said, that I think will provide some longevity to the game. So And like I said, the rest of it, I'm still kind of running through the first mission, but it's pretty cool because here you see just a quick snapshot of the 4 different characters. You're going to see these enemies get these different little, they call them guard bubbles around them. That makes it so that you essentially, in single player, you have to be able to swap quickly between your 2 characters in order to break that specific colored shield. So there you're seeing me hit the green. Now I have to swap back to my red fighter to be able to take down this enemy with the red shield. This mechanic's pretty cool from a single player standpoint because it drives you to use your different characters. You can't just get one OP character. Like for me, I really enjoy this. I think it's like the tech character, has the ability to throw out like a little mini turret that'll hit enemies and then uses the ranged attack with this pistol. Honestly, one of my favorite characters that I've been able to use, just for the sole fact that you can get some range, a really good dodge ability, but that kind of necessary need for the bubbled enemies, kind of forcing you to use different characters, makes it so that you can't just stick to the one play style, which some people will dislike, but I actually found pretty cool because again, it gets you to swap your characters out, gets you to move them around, and gets you, just to use all of the different capabilities and abilities that all of your different characters have. When it comes to the multiplayer aspect, that will still be there, and I think that's even more interesting because then it's not just solely a matter of running around and smashing everything. You do have to use a little bit of strategy to make sure that the right person is taking down those shields so that the rest of the team can attack the enemies, which I think is really cool, and again, a neat idea to add a little bit of strategy into, again, what is essentially just a run around smash and grab kind of side scroller. So we're gonna jump into a boss fight. I'll say I've done 2 through the course of the game so far, that just gotten a little bit of time in, about 40 minutes or so, and I'll say it seems like there's a really good variance of how these boss fights all set up. So it's not just the same. Obviously you're killing an enemy, but they make this one pretty interesting, where they have essentially this boss fight is just a bunch of these artillery guys, and then they throw normal enemies in with you at the same time. And that variance for me is important because again, very similar thing that you're going to do, kind of over the course of this game, but having the variance, especially with the boss enemies, the fights that are going to take the most time, you don't want them to be too cookie cutter, obviously, because then it would, to a certain extent, probably get pretty boring. But from what I've seen so far, definitely a good amount of variance, like I said, for the different boss fights. Pretty cool here that again, we're getting some, a couple of these different guys coming in, and these all these different enemies essentially make up the complete and total boss, which, like I said, is completely different from the first boss that you end up fighting within the game. So like I said, definitely recommend it. Definitely if you're looking for something a little bit different, trying to take a break, or just need to get a new game to kind of tide you over until some of the other big releases come out, definitely take a look at it. $20. I think it's on the store for $19.99 right now. Like I said, you'll be able to find it pretty easy, as it is at the top of the store, recommended for on Xbox. And like I said, if you got a couple buddies, got a couple friends that are looking for something cooperatively to play, you get the ability to be able to do that, and I think that's pretty cool. So I'm definitely going to keep playing through this. I'm going to take a look and see. There's I think 36 total achievements, which is pretty cool. I think most of them are kind of story related, but definitely some strategy ones and some other ones that are hidden. So we'll take a look and definitely keep playing this. If I've got any strategies for any of the specific boss fights that maybe are a little bit more difficult, we'll definitely cover those. And then if there's any achievement specific things that I can do, I will definitely look at those. I know there's some puzzles to solve and some kind of mystery things to find throughout the course of the story mode and through the game. So I will definitely take a look, and like I said, just provide some content on this game and continue to kind of give my opinion. So hopefully this review and kind of overview of this was helpful. And like I said, if you guys end up picking it up, let me know. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you ended up enjoying it, and kind of if there's any other games on the radar that you guys are playing right now. Definitely would love to hear that and get some other recommendations for stuff to kind of cover on the channel. So I've been Doc with Average Gamer, guys. Really do appreciate all the support. Please make sure, if you haven't already, please do subscribe. Really does help us out. We love chatting with you guys in the comments as well. So really let us know down below what you guys are rocking. And like I said, if you do pick it up, love to hear what you guys think. So yeah, really appreciate it. We'll continue to cover this a little bit. And as always, we'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.